Hello yogis, and welcome to our hip opening class. In today's practice, we're going to get deep into the hips to allow for some opening, some stretch. It's often said that the emotions are stored in the hips, so get ready to release whatever is not serving you. Let's begin by coming into a comfortable seated pose. You want to make sure that the knees are lower than the hip bones, so that might mean sitting on a cushion or a blanket. Rest your hands comfortably on the knees, close your eyes, lengthen your spine from the sit bones all the way up through the crown of the head. And let's receive a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Fully in and fully out. Lengthen your next inhale and expand the exhale. Continue with this deep, full breath throughout our practice, breathing in and out through your nose. And then float your eyes open and take that right foot in your hands, and then just begin to open and close the hip. So moving the knee out to the right and then pulling it as far into the midline as you can. Open and close. Feeling the range of your hip. Notice where there's tightness or tension. That's where we'll place our energy today, and releasing that. And then we'll come into a fire log pose. Just stack the right ankle on top of the left knee. Maybe pad the space between the right knee and left ankle if there's space there. And then inhale the arms high and exhale, forward fold. When you first come into the posture, be gentle with yourself. We're not pushing the body, but rather encouraging it to move into this fire log pose. We encourage the body to take the shape by filling any tight spaces with breath. Just imagine your breath moving into the tension in the right hip and then creating space there. You might even find that as you rest in this posture, after a few breaths, you can walk your hands a little farther away from the body. Let's stay here and breathe. On your next breath in, begin to walk yourself back up. And then let's take that right foot and place it on the outside of the left knee. Pull the left foot in towards your midline. We'll wrap the left arm around the right knee, and then just start by placing the right arm on top of the left, hugging the knee in towards the body, gazing over the right shoulder. If you'd like a little deeper twist, you can reach the right arm back behind you, place that hand right by the tailbone, and then just use the right hand for leverage to move deeper into this twist. Our emphasis here is on hugging the left knee into the body. And let's slowly release, Coming into Gaumugasana, stack the knees on top of one another, right knee on top of the left, flex the feet, sweep the arms overhead as you inhale, and exhale to walk yourself forward. So don't worry if you aren't able to go too far in this pose, just go until you feel some sensation and then stay right there and breathe. Make sure to keep the feet flexed and the knees stacked on top of one another. Use the breath to breathe space into the body, to breathe spaciousness into the mind. Imagine that every exhale allows you to release what no longer serves you. No need to pinpoint it, just set the intention that if it's not serving your highest good, it's free to move out on the exhaling breath. On your next inhale, gently begin to walk yourself back up. Take your time, come out mindfully, releasing the right knee off of the left. And then let's just take some little windshield wipers with the knees. So shift the knees over to the right and to the left. Feet just a little wider than the hips. Hands behind you for support. Just getting some blood flowing back into those hips. And then we'll come into our second side. So this time take that left ankle in your hand and then just open and close the hip. So open that knee out to the left and then pull it across your body. You can take some circles here or just shift back and forth. Really, we're just feeling the range of motion in that left hip joint. So we become aware of what's going on in the hip before we put ourselves into any hip opening pose. All right, so now we'll come into our fire log pose by placing the left ankle on top of the right knee, padding any space if necessary between the left knee and the right ankle. When you're ready, arms overhead for length, and exhale to walk yourself forward. Stay in this fold, breathe, continue with your intention to breathe spaciousness into the body and into the mind, allowing each exhaling breath to be a point of surrender. On your next inhale, begin to walk your hands back up. And we'll hug that left knee into the chest. Maybe pull the right foot closer to the body. Wrap both arms around the left knee. Just hug it in toward the midline of the body. Gaze over the left shoulder. Emphasis here is on hugging the knee in toward the body. So we're really getting into the hips. The twist is secondary, but if you'd like, you can reach the left arm up and around behind you, placing the left palm by the tailbone and gazing over the left shoulder. But keep hugging that left knee in toward the middle of the body. On your next exhale, slowly unwind. We'll come into our Gaumugasana by stacking the left knee on top of the right. I like to fully come onto my hands here to make sure the knees are completely stacked. And then flex the feet. Reach the arms overhead to create length in the spine. And then exhale. Take all of that spinal length forward into a fold. Allow yourself to surrender into the posture, so we're never forcing our body into any shape. Rather, we encourage it with breath. Feel sensation and breathe into the sensation. On your next inhale, gently, mindfully walk yourself back up, and this time we'll come onto our hands and knees, and then just begin to take some circles with the hips, moving in one direction to start. Really feel that you're pushing the hips in each direction, so creating a great big circle. You might even get the shoulders into the mix. And then we'll take it in the opposite direction. Just let this feel good. Don't worry about what it looks like. Just let it feel amazing in your body. And then come back to center. From here, we'll press back into a downward facing dog. Sit bones reaching to the sky. On your inhale, raise the right leg. And as you exhale, take the right knee to the right wrist. Extend the left leg nice and long behind you. You might even gaze back to make sure that the left leg is in line with your left hip, not jutting out to the left side of the mat. And then, when you're ready, fold into your pigeon pose, keeping the right foot flexed to protect the knee joint. Think of keeping an equal weight between the right sit bone and then the left hip bone, which is moving down toward the earth. Fully surrender, let go. See how much you can let go. On your next inhale, walk yourself back up, tuck your left toes, press yourself back into downward dog, extend the right leg again, bend the right knee, and if you'd like to flip your dog, you can do that here, placing those right toes to the outside of your mat, opening the heart. And then come back to a downward facing dog. Inhale, sweep the left toes up to the sky. And as you exhale, come into your pigeon pose on the left knee to the left wrist, flex the left toes, extend the right leg long in line with the hip bone. And on an exhale, walk your hands out as far as you can, so length even through the fingertips. And then receive a deep breath. On your exhale, melt into the earth beneath you. Feel that you're fully supported, grounded, cared for here. On your next breath in, gently begin to walk yourself back up. Tuck your right toes and press back into downward dog. Extend the left leg up to the sky. Bend the left knee. You can stay right here or flip your dog, reaching that left arm overhead and opening the heart. On your next exhale, return to downward facing dog. Hips high, heart melting. And then we'll come down to hands and knees. We'll come into a little mini frog pose here. We're not going to stay for long, but I'd like you to turn sideways on your mat and open up the knees as far apart as you can, keeping the ankles in line with the knees. That is the key. Ankles in line with the knees, feet flexed. If this is hard on the knees, I want you to just take a moment, pause the video, get some blankets, and place those underneath the knees and come right back to join me. From the knees, we'll come down to our elbows. Think of shifting the hips back toward the feet. So I'd like you to stay here and rest for several breaths, unless this is uncomfortable. So some people really do not have an affinity for frog pose. So if that is you, you can follow me and come into a child's pose. If frog pose is tolerable for you, stay there and breathe. If you're coming into child's pose, knees are spreading wide to the edges of the mat. Hands walk forward. For those of you who are still in frog pose, we'll begin to make our way out by coming onto the hands. Bring the toes to touch, and then gently come onto the sit bones. From there, we'll make our way into a child's pose. Those of you in child's pose, simply rest right where you are. We'll be taking our final relaxation here in child's pose. Allow the heart to melt into the earth. Let the hips sink back onto the heels. Feel that you are grounded, supported. The earth beneath you has always got you. Feel that support now as you ground into the earth, receiving the energy of the earth into your heart. On your next breath in, walk yourself gently back up to a seat. Come into a kneeling pose, hands to heart center. Take a moment to feel gratitude for your body, for your practice. I hope you enjoyed this hip opening practice. This is a great class to do after workouts or simply on its own, maybe before you go to bed. It will really help you sleep more deeply. Have a beautiful rest of your day or evening. Namaste.